Welcome to Sakshi Education. Many of the students in our country, especially in southern states, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, students will be moving from this country to other countries to pursue their higher education, especially MS in US and other foreign countries, writing TOEFL and JR examinations. Today we have a distinguished guest, Saurabh Arora, who is an expert in global mobility. Heartily welcome, Saurabh Arora.
Mr. Siddeshwar, and it's a pleasure to be on Sakshi Media. I've been hearing about your work in down south, especially. So honored and privileged, and look forward to.
The global trends has been very dynamic over the years, and now the foreign policy has been constantly changing. The US new regime. There have been many concerns to the students about the global mobility, how going to be the future effect in the due course of time, and there are many questions to ask to you. So, what trends are you observing currently in student mobility to foreign countries, sir?
So no, great question to start with. I believe the trend is definitely still up and onwards. Indian students, international students are looking forward to study abroad, leave their cities, countries to pursue better lifestyle, or probably to study, a course which is not probably available in their home city or a country, or they are looking for do something which is probably new tech, new age tech, or a Web3, or like new regime of courses and universities are coming up. So the macros of global mobility is very robust. um, we have not seen, it's been 15 years I'm part of the ecosystem, and I have access to people who are part of this ecosystem for like 30-40 years. None of us has seen such a dynamic year like 2024 and 2025, wherein there were election in 42 countries, and whenever there's elections, uh, there are always patterns and trends which get questioned, because we see this like a rebooting a system. Every 4 to 5 years, every country go through their election, their election cycle, and net immigration is a soft target. you know Hence, to woo their local uh, citizens, you know net immigration become a soft targets, and hence there are some policies which become stringent. If you see last year, Canada have become more stringent, Australia have got caps and more regulations. This is one aspect of seeing, and this is a reason, though the global mobility trends are upwards, but there are, last year it was a bit of consolidation, and which is healthy for any ecosystem, because you just can't grow and continue to have 30, 40, 50% of growth year after year. So it's a welcoming consolidation last year. But if you see, uh, indian talent Indian talent pool is being recognized. Everyone recognize that no one can stop India growth. There's a talent pool. There's a GDP being increased for Indian students. So all the universities in India across, they need Indian students, right? So can't be a better time for Indian students and India as a country, to establish our dominations across the world, by continue to spread their wings and choose to study in UK, US, Australia, Canada, or any new emerging market like Europe. Yeah. So these are few things we have seen last 12 to 18 months. And this year, I believe, is a year of consolidation, but which is good, because anyone who is going to study and looking to study in a best of the universities, there is finance available, there are scholarship available, there are good course, and every university is looking forward to welcome Indian students.
And as you mentioned, some of the countries, in addition to it, what are the countries that are the top destinations for Indian students?
So traditionally, US is always been number one, and they are still number one by numbers. But with Trump and with US elections around or happened, and new regime came in, so they are wait and watch, approach by universities and students. But still, US is number one, probably followed by UK as a destination, wherein around 100,000 students are still going to UK, and then followed by Germany, then Australia, new markets like France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Malta, they are coming off well, right? So if you see in this ecosystem, there's always cyclicality. So someone gains might be someone lost. So UK is stable. US, Canada, Australia being probably at this point in time they are settling down, and people are having a wait and watch approach. But this uncertainty in these countries been well captured by European universities and countries.
Yeah, major thing is that cost of living is the biggest thing that every student is thinking of. What is the cost of accommodation? Not in a specific manner, in general manner.
So if you see, there are two kind of accommodation: on campus, off campus. So on campus, your university halls, dorms, hostel, what we call in India. Then there is off campus, which is, and in within on off campus, there are two kind of accommodation. One is organized, one is unorganized. So when I say organized, that's an asset class called purpose built student accommodation. As the name suggests, that is meant for students. So that is only for students, and that is purposely built for students. Hence, they are in and around university. All bills, it's fully furnished. It's a better version of university halls because they are professionally managed by facility managers, who've been managing it for years and in a very professional way. And it's hassle free, one stop shop accommodation, staying with different nationality, going to the same university or studying the same city, right? And then the third version is unorganized, which is like homestay, PGs, private apartments, shared rooms, So that is the budget options. So far there were no platform which were also giving you a curated unorganized options, you know, and now these are the different accommodation type and the price points. So a typical university hall will cost, if you are probably not going to London or Sydney or New York, a typical will be around $600 to $800 a month, or probably 150 200 dollar or that currency per week, which includes all the bills, water, electricity. So I call them as a value for money, safe and curated option. And then if you look for cities like London, Melbourne, or Sydney or New York, then it will be approximately in the range of probably 1,000 to $1,500. And again depend upon either you are staying zone one, Manhattan, Central, CBD, or you are probably 30 40 minutes away from university in London or these metropolitan cities, right? So these are the price points and these are the different type of accommodation available, and basis student budgets or location or requirements, they can choose one of them.
But the most important concerns that are raised by the parents in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh.
It's everywhere. It's not only from Telangana or Andhra Pradesh. It's if you're talking to parents, they want their kids to be safe, secure, and it should be within their budgets. So the concerns are mostly whether what you see, you will get the same accommodation. All the bills are included. If there are documents signed. Like is there whoever we are paying deposits? That's a legitimate entity, right? So these are few concerns we are solving, and then there's concerns like what if I book and I don't get my visa, right? What if I don't book on time and I land out, I land there without accommodation? So I would suggest firstly, please don't do this. If you're at a, if you're a genuine student going for global mobility and not because of immigration, then your chances of getting visa is very high. If you're maintaining your finances, you're going through a right education partner, or telling the genuine reason of you're going to US or UK or Australia, you stand the highest chance of getting visa. If you talk UK, you have 94% visa success. If you're going to US and you start early and apply at the right time at the right course, again, people are getting yes within a minute. If you're going to Canada and you're not going for shady colleges or for wrong intent or wrong purposes, you know then again, for a student going to UBCs and U Torontos and U15s, they are getting their visa success is very high, right? So when you're going for the right reason and you are well prepared and you are telling the right reasons, you know you stand almost 100% to get visa of your for you. And when you are getting visa and you're going for a student, why are you not booking your accommodation early on time? Because when students don't book on time or early, they end up paying 30 40% extra. They might not get accommodation at all, and then you go to a country first time without accommodation. Please don't do that stupidity, because I have done that. When I went to 2011, I went to Nottingham, I didn't book my accommodation, right? And that's what I realized that, and I co accidentally I entered this place because I did get my housing. So please don't do that. Start early and look beyond university halls because only 1 out of 6 students get accommodation from university. Rest need to fend themselves, right? So don't wait that you will get university halls, especially when you are a postgrad student, especially when you're in second, third year. Because undergrad, first year, still people are guaranteed, or at least they give some options. But or 90% of South market going abroad are postgrad. So please don't wait for the last minute. Start early. Look beyond university halls.
The students from these states, especially having to say that Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, are they going traditional countries of US, UK, and Canada? Are they choosing other countries in recent years? What are your observations?
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, uh, I would say Southern India students are very smart. They are very well prepared, right? And they are looking for ROI. They know why they are going, and they have an advantage. Most of them speak good English, right? But apart from traditional UK, US, Australia, Canada the market, they're also not shying away going to new markets like France, Germany, Spain, Malta, even Dubai, Singapore, right? So these are new emerging markets, especially European countries, which are mostly Spain, France, Germany of the world.
How the numbers, the regarding global mobility has evolved over the years, and what growth do you anticipate in the recent years to come?
We have done this report. In fact, it's very credit to my team. No, we are not a research desk. We're not a research team, but we come up with a report every quarter, and for different countries. Now these are reports which being quoted by media, even MEA, even governments, and not only even international governments and universities. So taking cue from our reports, which is ISMR or European report, which we have done, or the ANG report, which we'll be launching next month. So the trends are, when I started around 15 years back, there were only 200,000 students going to international. That number stands from India is 1.3 million. If I talk about international students, it was 2.32 million students. Now it is 6.4 million international students going to a different destination, right? If I talk about UK, UK used to be 12,000, 18,000, 40,000, 70,000. Then it was 1,70,000. Last year it was 1,26,000. And this year we are expecting anywhere from around 100,000 students. If we talk about Australia, Australia always been regulated and stable with 50, 60,000 a year from India. And internationally, they have 450,000 students coming from all across the world, right? Similarly, for Canada also, though the numbers have fallen, and even I would like to take a minute to mention, everyone's saying that Canada is falling. Everyone's saying that, Australia is slow. But I would say no. It's a best time to go abroad, or at least to go to Canada, Australia, because they are only offering a, a seat in the university to a people who are going for right reasons. That means, most of the people now going to these countries will have a higher chance to get a job. And also government have provision for 4,70,000 students in Australia, approximately the same, 4.5, 5 lakh student in Canada. That means now the government of Canada and Australia have provision for these kind of international students. That means they also have, generating that kind of employment opportunities. That means the cost of living will be under control. You will not need to stay on in the gurdwaras and in the vanity vans, because there is a right demand and supply balance in these countries. And as I always say, whenever they are tough, whenever people are questioning something to do, that's the right time to do. And whenever everyone's saying that, oh, everyone, let's go to Dubai, let's go to US, that is a time you should not be doing it. So if you are planning to go abroad, that means you have planned this not for this year. You've been planning for 15 years. Your parents been saving for 20 years, right? And you need 2-3 years to have the right profiling to go to the best of a university or to your dream course. So please continue with your plans, because you've been dreaming and preparing for it. And in hindsight, if there are not many students going, you have even more advantage.
Students generally ask regarding by choosing your accommodation facilities and all your services, what are the primary concerns they ask?
Student from down south is always look for value for money. They always try to save money, and as a student one should save money. I'm all about, if you're a student, save money and ask for the right questions and go for ROI, right? Because for me to be successful, it's very, very important that my students are happy. Because if students are happy, they will continue to be an ambassador of the country they are going. And so, so keeping that ethics and value system. So when student come and they say, oh, we are undergrad, what should we do? So we don't shy away to tell that if you're undergrad and you're going to UK or US, apply university halls. But not everyone will get it, because India is a late market. By the time they apply, most of the accommodation get filled, right? Then they ask whether they book early or they book after visa. And I'm a logical guy. I'm not an engineer, but I think like an engineer. When you're going abroad and you have a 90 plus chance of getting a visa, why you're not booking your accommodation early on and saving 30% of the second largest spend item, which is 10,000 to $1,500 for accommodation, and you end up saving 2,000, $3,000, if you book early. And then they have a logic, they have a valid point that what if they don't get a visa? And most of the accommodation which we do, they have no visa, no pay. So if you don't get your visa, you can cancel it and you will get your money back.
Good.
So it's so it's so no brainer. You book your air tickets to save 5,000 rupees
Yeah.
6 months early. You're
Yeah.
not booking your accommodation where you're spending more time than you be spending in your classes and your universities, and save at least 30%, and get and stay with people where you can have a network all across the globe. Because I say when you go abroad, it's not about which course, which university you studied. It's about how many friends, which our country and network you have created. Because those are the people which will help you understand, travel, and get a job than just a degree or a classes.
What are the challenges that students face if they don't choose proper accommodation facilities before pursuing their foreign education?
See, I don't want to panic people. I'm a eternal optimist. But challenges I've seen, like, reaching there at 1 in a.m. in the morning and calling us and say, can you get me something? And at time we also feel helpless, because we are not hotel. These are student accommodation only, and you need to start early and you need to book full year accommodation. And we have more demand than supply.
Mhm.
It's a great problem as a business, but as a human being, I get embarrassed and
Mhm.
also scared if a student from India go and they call us and we don't able to help. But the fact is they limited accommodation. So so these can be one challenge. Another challenge, I'm the stupid guy. I went there without booking accommodation, stayed in a hotel for 1.5 months, paid fortune, in hotels and Airbnbs of the world. And there's also a switch off cost. When you go and stay for a 2 days or 2 weeks in a hotel or an Airbnb, imagine a student going with full luggage from airport to Airbnb or hotel, spending 100 to $150 on Uber or or buses, and then stay there for 2 weeks, and then again look out, miss their initial induction points, right? And then miss a chance to make friends and understand and settle down and look for accommodation. When the accommodation get filled in before they're going, you need to be very lucky to find something when you already full and you get something, right? And then there's a switch off cost. You will be taking out your luggage, taking a Uber, spending another 150 $200, settling down. And if, god forbid, if we are not getting accommodation, and then you will be desperate to get any kind of accommodation and pay any kind of amount, you know so there are and there are other challenges, or I would say, problem people face when they book on Facebook or on WhatsApp groups. They end up paying deposits to unknown people, and then they say, oh, we are scammed. I mean, I always say, please don't be, penny wise and pound foolish.
You provide only to 1 year accommodation, full 1 year accommodation, not to a part of year.
I will say go for organized market and pay some premium and book for full year. But if you are tight on budgets, or probably you are still one of those where you want to go and check and feel and look and then only book, so we are also able to help them for as low as 2 weeks to 15 weeks.
You ask, the hobbies, interests, and all these, and then you
Yeah,
accommodate, or what are the areas that you primarily concern
sure,
while
sure.
accommodating the people from different states, different whatever it might be, in all differences. What do you say?
It's very important that the right student stay with the right, right accommodation, the right price point, because otherwise later on they don't have a good experience. So it's in the interest of everyone to, to have a customized well matched accommodation as per the price location requirements. Especially if you're going to Europe, wherein you need to book your accommodation before your visa.
Mhm.
So hence even it's more important to book early, because you need to book any which ways, and don't do those short terms hacks and jugards to book a temporary accommodation just for visa purpose. Visa officer check everything. So
Mhm.
book your accommodation genuinely with the genuine platforms, and don't shortcut your procedure, otherwise your visa will be in danger.
Yeah, thank you so much, Saurabh, for joining with us and sharing very important information for the students.
But Siddheshwar, good to be connected. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Saurabh.
so
Thank
much.
you, sir.